What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be reacting to another Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe.
Hey,
Hello.
Kevin.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
Good. How old are you?
36.
So what's the disagreement?
I don't really disagree with you. Here's the deal that I have, though. Like, I think that I fit into the whole entire category that you've talked about beforehand, where you stated, in your teens or 20s, I'm sorry, to go ahead and get married. I did that. I got married. I had a kid. I have one son to my ex-husband, but obviously it didn't work out, and it didn't work out for numerous reasons, but the deal breaker was he had 2 children on me, and I didn't know how to handle that at that time. So now I'm 36.
Two children while you guys were married?
Yes. Well, I found out about them after we were married. So we were engaged when he impregnated them, but I didn't find out about them until after we were married. So I felt deceived.
Well, you were.
Yeah. So here I am now, 36. I want to be married, but listening to you, I'm understanding now, like, wow, I have to take a step back and understand that. And I'm not going, I've been around the 300, 400,000, millionaires. I've been around them in an insurance industry, but I never really understood. I was raised by my father, who didn't teach me these kinds of things. So is there any way possible for people who just, I know that you're doing it, but how do you start over? What do you do? I'm 36.
What do you want?
I want to be married.
Okay, I get that. And then after that?
I want to build, I want to build a life with someone.
And what does that mean?
That means I want more children. And
let's start getting to the specifics, because a lot of you ladies just talk in vague terms. I want to be married. I want to build. What do you want? You want to be married? How many more kids do you want?
1, maybe 2.
How old is your child?
10.
1, maybe 2.
Yes.
You know what comes next? Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant?
I'm not totally against going back into the workforce after I have my son, or daughter or child. I'm not against it 100%.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills? Yeah. See how you keep being vague, and I'm going to make you be specific. What do you want?
No. If I don't have to, absolutely not.
All right. So, you know my questions. How tall are you?
36.
No. That's how old are you? How tall are you?
Oh, 5'11".
Dress size?
14.
You knew that was coming. Come on, Ma. Nobody's marrying a 6-foot woman who weighs more than they do and putting them in the house and they ain't got to work.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's 36. Do you not think that's a lot to ask for?
I said I don't mind going back.
See, the difference between saying I don't mind means you really do mind, because you don't want to have to do it. And see, you ladies need to start being honest. You don't want to have to work, and you feel some kind of way that your first marriage didn't work. Okay, I get it. But the next man ain't got nothing to do with the first man.
I agree.
So you want to be married. Well, guess what a man who marries you gonna have to be?
What?
A stepfather.
Okay.
How many men want to do that? They're making the kind of money you was talking about.
Not a lot.
A lot. Mm-hmm. So here comes the hard question. Could you marry and respect a man making $40,500 for the rest of his life?
I could, if he had goals, visions, and dreams.
You can't make this shit up.
He sent this back. Had to let him get that one out first. But yeah, that's crazy. So what she's basically saying is now, even if he were to make 40 or 50, that wouldn't be enough with her. Like, see, she can't answer it directly. That the real answer is no, that he would actually have to make more eventually. Why? Because she's thinking about her child. She's thinking about herself. She may want to live a certain lifestyle now. And then in the beginning, she was talking about being around people that make millions of dollars. Listen, it doesn't have any correlation to her. It won't transfer over. Trust me. Someone said she looked like her life is hard.
Every
to build
time,
upon it. To build upon
every
it.
time, you can't make it up, people. You saw where it was going. Every time I ask a woman this question, the answer is always yeah, but, which means, yeah, I'll accept him if he's here as long as he'll make more later. I said for the rest of his lifetime, because that's what the median black, the salary of a black man makes. And the answer is what? No, I could not respect it.
Yeah, I could. I could.
You,
Yeah, I could respect them, to be honest with you. I could respect them.
husbandly respect.
Husbandly respect.
Husbandly
Here's why.
submission. Okay, so let's see. Let's test it.
Yeah. Here's why though.
Hold on, time out. I get to it my way. Husbandly submission. So that means, do you make more than that?
Yes.
All right. So that means you'd be all right with being, because at 36, you can't go back to making what you did at 23.
I was making less at 23.
Of course, that's why I said you can't go back.
Okay.
So my point is, every dollar that gets spent in the family, you're going to be having to put in your percentage, and he's going to put in his percentage. And one of the major problems in relationships is money. And it's one thing to say it on a YouTube channel, but let's say, let's just say I don't want to get too much in your personal business. Let's just say you're making $80,000. That means every dollar that gets spent, you spending 66 cents out of it. If you drive a Mercedes, does he get a Mercedes too?
We share.
No. If you have two cars, you have a Mercedes because you make it 80. Does he get a car that he's making at 40, or does he get a Mercedes too?
We share.
What does that
we
mean?
have a Mercedes and we'll have an Altima or something like that.
But
and when
driving,
he wants to drive,
but who's
and
driving
he
the
wants
Ultima?
to drive the Mercedes,
Who's driving the Ultima?
We gonna alternate.
Okay. The financial issue is going to be big.
Yeah.
It's going to be big. And say you need to make more, and I'll tell you why you need to make more. Because you're bringing in somebody else's child.
Okay.
So the question is, this is the unfortunate part when relationships break up, because through no fault of your own or whatever, your husband had 2 kids. I get it. But because you make more money, your estimation of what you want is still higher than what most men make.
Okay.
And there will be conflict. A financial conflict is on the horizon, because when I asked, you said as long as he's willing to do this or do that, which really means I want him to try to up his income.
Exactly. Now, for the men the men that are going to be watching this, if you are making 50 or are making 50, and this was the situation in front of you, would you be susceptible to this? Would you be willing to get into this situation, knowing the details, knowing the backstory? Not likely. Even if you were making 50, you'd take it somewhere else. I'll tell you that.
True.
That's really what that means. And why do you want him to up his income?
Because I believe that a marriage should be something that you are building together. So like, even if I come into the relationship making more money, but I have a drive, a goal, a vision, or likewise him, and we can build that thing together, then I don't care if you're making 40,000 right now. That's not where we're staying. You're going to support me in my goal and my vision, and I'm going to support you in your goal and your vision.
Yeah, you just gave exactly the formula for disaster.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, you're talking like a man.
Okay.
This is what guys get. Masculine women who want to talk about whose goal, that ain't nothing. That's not your part. You're 36.
Yes.
Go back to your grandmother, your great grandmother. My grandmother out earned my grandfather. She didn't
Okay.
talk nothing like you talking about.
Okay.
She wasn't on this, he's goal and my goal, and we gonna do this. So she made the chicken.
Okay.
So the issue is really, all right. Do you understand why I say you're coming at this from a masculine position?
I do. And another reason why I'm listening to you, Kevin, is because I was raised by my father. So I know I have a lot of masculine tendencies. My father didn't teach me certain things. I had to learn along the way. And so learning from you, I'm really learning, like I have to really tap into my feminine side because I'm a go-getter.
I mean, what is a man if a man ain't a paycheck, what is he?
He's a companion. He is someone I can confide in, someone that I
But
can
the funny
trust
thing
and
is,
build with.
if that's the case, then why do you need him to be on this purpose and gold and build and all this other stuff? See, I have to ask you those questions. But what it really is, a man to you first is money, is a provider, and that's fine. But unfortunately, most men don't earn the kind of money you're talking about. Neither do most women. Did your ex-husband make more than you?
No.
And what the French toast are you talking about? You married him younger and gave him a baby, and you want a Negro to come along later with your size 14 and 6 feet tall, making that ain't even fair. That ain't even close to being fair.
That's crazy. That's crazy, right? So that's not even close to being fair. What are we supposed to do with that? What type of deal is that? Come on.
I mean, we had the running back, and now we got the tight end over here talking shit. I mean, y'all are crazy.
Well, I was making less money and he was making more money at the time because I was younger and he's 7 years older than I am. So he was making more money.
Right. So the fact of the matter is he got the better deal, and now you're older, and now you want to flip the deal, and you're like, well, I want to make more. No, nope, not gonna work. No, man. And this whole masculine thing, feminine thing, that ain't. I feel sorry for a lot of sisters who do this because you want a man who's earning outside of what most men earn, and men want something for that. They want something for that because they know what that's worth, and I think you are being honest and saying honestly, you know that, I would say, I don't know how long your marriage broke up, but sounds like you kind of soured on men.
No, I'm not
No. I didn't say, I didn't mean you don't. You didn't, that if a man is not providing, that's going to be big because you're not as young as you used to be. You've tasted a different standard of life, and the truth is, you want a man to have what you want and more. That's natural. That's how women have evolved. Unfortunately, I cannot snap and make more men that way. So you're going to have to compete for that kind of man, and most of those men do not want to be a stepfather. They want young wives who they can build their own family with. So if you find another husband, I think it would be remiss to just cut off all men. This is why I say you ladies need to lower your standard to your sexual marketplace value. That's where your standard should be, because that's what men are looking at women as, your sexual marketplace value. Okay. I appreciate it. All right, have a good night. Yeah, man. Y'all know how that go. I know, man. Say power forward up in this mug. So, ladies, call.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. How are you?
I'm well.
How old are you?
29.
What do you got? What do you got for me? What's going on?
Okay. Kevin, I love you. I'm not a critic. I really just have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So for the women that don't want those high value men, women that just want average guys, I guess my question would be, how come the average guys won't accept the fat girls, if we got to accept men under 5'9", under 6 feet, average earners, how come they won't consider the fat girl to wife her?
Because you can control your weight. You can control your height. Yes, you can control your income. And that all depends on where you're at. But come on. You can control your weight. You don't have to be that big. Let's stop this already. What's going on here?
Being fat isn't normal. Normal and average aren't the same thing.
But for like the Black community, for like you said,
no. Listen to what I'm saying. Average and normal aren't the same thing. Look at it. Go back in your family album and look at your grandmother and great grandmother. Those women were average, normal women, and they were fit and thin. Google Black women in the 50s and 40s. That's what you're supposed to look like. Just because in our community, because Black women have allowed themselves to get fat, doesn't mean average men have to settle for it because it's now normal.
I understand what you're saying. I accept it. I guess my next question.
It's because it's not healthy. It's not preferable. And men are visual. Men, in order for the things to work right, men must be physically attracted. And take you aside. I've looked at women who I could pull up pictures with thin men and women who no good God world should they have a bikini on, much less a two-piece. Okay, what's the next question?
So since men are so visual, are all of these men with six packs and they're completely fit?
It doesn't matter. See what you're doing, man, is you're trying to make an equivalency.
And she's trying to deflect, by the way.
I'm accepting you as a normal, average earning man, and you're not in shape. And the problem is the men are not overweight to the extent the women are. White men, Asian men, Hispanic men, Middle Eastern men who are average earners do not have to accept overweight and obese women as the norm. They get to pick from women who are physically fit because you know why? Because the women in those races want to please their men. They don't feel like they are settling for an average man. They feel like an average man is worth having and worth being fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, and submissive for. Our women feel like, well, if I'm going to get an average man, he should accept me as I am. Absolutely not. Because if you don't get a Black man, you're not getting a white one, a Hispanic one, Asian, Middle Eastern, or other. They're not accepting large women as the norm. Do you believe that?
Yes.
So my question
but I only date Black men.
So my question is, how old are you again?
29.
My question is, why don't you just get fit?
When you're in that reproductive age, you have some women are faced with medical issues that make it difficult to lose weight.
Ma'am, due respect. That's not the norm. It's no different than thyroid or anything else. It's not the norm. It's diet and exercise and discipline.
Discipline.
So are you saying that the women you're talking about are incapable of living a fit lifestyle?
Not incapable.
Right,
it's just,
because all they have to do is look in their ancestral tree, look at their grandmothers and aunts, and that's their capability.
Can I make a comment to that about the women of the past?
Yeah, but you can also, but before you do that, also understand women of the past had husbands.
Right.
Go ahead.
Do you think a lot of those women weren't as large as we are today because they didn't have processed foods? They grew they had their own gardens. A lot of them grew their own vegetables.
Sure, sure. They had access to better foods, but the bottom line is men don't care. Men want the outcome, just like women really don't care how you provide as long as it's secure and for the most part legal.
So are you saying there's no hope for anybody over a size 4?
I'm saying that you give yourself less hope by being unfit. And I don't understand why single, childless women would rather put themselves at a lower percentage chance of having success rather than living a healthy lifestyle. You're choosing to put yourself in a lower percentage outcome. Then you can't complain if you don't win.
Absolutely. I mean, this is all new information. I'm from
Really?
Milwaukee, so we weren't taught
This is
these things.
you now that's why I bristle. Black men have been telling black women to lose weight my entire life. Black men have been asking black women to be nice and wear your own hair and be childless my entire life. And I'm from Oklahoma. So I know if it was in Oklahoma, it got to Wisconsin.
To be nice, yes. But I didn't
I
have no
think I,
brothers.
I think you guys heard it because I know I heard it as a boy. I think you guys just dismissed it because honestly, because somebody's willing to have sex with it. That's the common denominator. You talk to most overweight women, and they will tell you somebody's hit it, and that is a particularly ridiculously low standard because someone will have sex with you cannot be the standard. And at 29, a man would have to say, look, if I were to get with you right now and marry you, you're going to put on 30 to 50 pounds of baby weight. The chances
Mm-hmm.
of you losing that weight are slim to none. That means if we have 2 kids, 3 kids, every child is going to put that 30 to 50 pounds on you. That means after the 3 kids, you're going to be about 70 pounds larger, 50 to 70, 40 to 70 pounds larger. It's easier just to be live. I would say this to black women: lose weight and prove me wrong. But see, what I'm saying, it comes too late for many of black women because so many black women are too far gone.
Yup, they're not going to put in the work. For a lot of women, they're not going to put in the work, and they move like, well, the next man is just going to have to accept me for this weight. When they know men care about beauty, and you doing that, let's be honest, it doesn't help your chances at all.
So it's like, well, damn, I got to do all that just to get a chance. Well,
I feel like I'm 29. Like I want to be married by 30. Like so, I feel like it's this information is. I wish I would have knew it years ago.
okay. Was were your mother and father married?
No,
Was your mother overweight?
no.
And so,
Well, not to me. I don't think she's overweight. Like she's never had a stomach. But
how tall is she?
I don't know. She's taller than me. I don't know anything about her weight.
I mean, can you guys wear the same clothes?
Her clothes are smaller than mine.
All right. So your mother never talked to you about your weight?
No, the women in my family, like my late grandmother, she told me, accept the way God made you, you
Such
know?
outrageous. So they just fed you and let you go.
Yeah,
But when
like
you
with
went
my
to did you go?
stepdad, like food is a love
Okay,
language.
let's talk about this. Stepdad, he had.
Wait, food is a love language. What the fuck? No, food is a love language to be put on a shirt. Listen, if we make some food is a love language shirts, we all better be rocking it. All right? 'Cause this is new to me.
Has to say that. So, did you go to a black elementary or high school?
Yes.
So all the girls in there look like you.
No, but like a lot of my friends would be like, "Oh, you're not really like fat. Like you're not
Right, but
flopping
they all
around."
look like you. And black women will often tell each other that. Did you go to college?
Yes.
When you went to college, you saw how different you looked. Unless you went to HBCU, you went to a predominantly white institution,
Yes.
you saw non-black women your age were much thinner.
Yes.
And
But
that's
they
the
also
same.
ate salads every day. Like
Well,
we
that's
didn't
what
grow
you
up
should be eating, salad, ma'am. Stop. That's the problem right there. You just talked about it. The women, the older unmarried women lie to the young women and they just feed you. They feed you to keep you satiated and happy so you're not causing them any problems. Because if you were a kid and they put salad and Brussels sprouts and vegetables, you'd complain, you'd fuss, and you would be more problem. And as a single mother with 3 kids, complaining about a balanced meal is too much stress for one woman. That's why you need a man in the household. So women are giving their kids PlayStations and cupcakes and chips and hot Funyuns, and then you go to school and other girls are getting the same thing you're getting from your mother. And women are telling you, God made you this way, God made you that way. You're looking at popular programming and all the black women look like you. In school, they look like you. There are no men around. A stepfather can't come in and say, oh my God, she's overweight, because he'll be run out of the house. But then when you leave the comfort of home and go to the real world, university, that's when you, for the first time, see Becky, Marisol, Mylene, Jamila, and you're like, holy shit. And you think something is wrong with them because they're getting up going to the gym before they go to class. You think something's wrong with them. Girl, they crazy. But then you look back after college graduation, in under 3 years, most of these women are married. They're not all married to lawyers and doctors. Men want women who are smaller than them.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, so discipline, because that's what it comes down to. Why aren't there men willing to put us under their discipline? If you know, work out with me. I had an ex. I was like, when we met, I was smaller.
No, 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 no. I'm going to answer that question. You're not my child. Just like just like you ain't willing to work, just like you're not willing to get with a guy who's making minimum wage and building him up. You don't want no build a boo. Men should not have to come into a woman that's a project. You should already be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, ready to go to help
Dang, I can't
support
hear
him.
you.
You should already be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, ready to go.
I can't hear you, Kevin.
Oh shit.
Okay, there you go.
I said you should already be fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, ready to go. Black men should not and do not have to take on a project in a single black woman. That is a liability. No different than if you had to get with a man who's minimum wage and needed to go to college or need to get a trade, right?
Right.
See, everything you're talking about is why shouldn't the men just work with us? Okay, I'm going to ask you a hardcore question. Ready?
Yes.
Why should black men who are not related to you sacrifice a damn thing for you?
Because we sacrifice so much in relationships for black men.
Such as?
I was in a relationship for 6 years. I gave everything.
Was he your husband?
We were engaged, so no, I was still
Okay, well,
single.
that's your fault. You didn't, you gave, okay, first of all, I call bullshit. You're talking about what you did in a 6-year relationship, and I said black men, not just you.
Okay.
When you meet somebody, what you're basically asking black men is to settle. Y'all don't call it that. Yes, that's what it is, man. Asking black men to settle, asking black men to accept black women in their unfit state is asking them to settle for what they don't want. And I ask you why. And really the answer is you should do it because we're both black. Would you ask a non-black man to accept what you're asking black men to accept?
No, I'll never
Why?
consider a non-black
I don't care whether you date him or not, man. Let's stay focused on the logic of the argument. And I'm using my Thanos glove, okay? I don't care, but I'm gonna use my reality stone. This reality, you're attracted to all colors of men equally. Would you ask a non-black man to make any of the exceptions that you're asking black men to make?
Kevin, I would, because I don't see it as a liability.
What? Well, this is a lie. And to go back to that comment, I don't think they would date you either. Let's be honest. This is just men in general. It's not even about race anymore. All right? Men in general this is not going to be attractive to them. So don't even say, oh yeah, well, I wouldn't date them. They wouldn't date you. That's just the truth. All right? And she can't even answer a simple, direct question. Would she ask these guys to do the same thing? And the answer to that is truly no. She knows that's the answer to this question. But let's see if she goes ahead and say it.
And that's the problem. We do. And until you ladies understand that it doesn't matter what you see or how you feel, it matters what we want. And if you're not willing to give the men that you want to marry you what they want, they are not going to accept you on your terms. You cannot go to the Mercedes dealership and demand that they accept that you can't afford their vehicle because you're a good driver. You can make the moral case all you want to. I'm a good driver and I make Mercedes look good and I take care of it. The car costs what it costs. And see, y'all are more willing to make this argument than to eat salads, fast, balanced diet, work out. You're 29.
Yeah, I'm already at 30. It's too late. Like, well, I am who I am.
All right. Well, buy a dog and die alone. That's why I said what I said. Either you do what you're going to have to do, or you're going to give men what they want, or you'll be alone. And we need more people telling people this so they don't get to the place you are. Because if somebody would have said this to you when you were 12 years old, instead of telling you what your grandmother and your mama and your stepdad told you, maybe, just maybe. So to my critics and detractors who think I'm so hard, I'm trying to help the next ones, because this is the outcome of telling women they can have everything and it don't matter. It does. And I refuse to believe that you cannot lose weight.
I mean, not a size 4, Kevin. That's a lot of weight.
How tall are you?
Like 5'3", 5'4".
How much do you weigh?
More than a man.
Okay, ma'am. What dress size are you?
18.
You do know at your frame and your skeletal frame size, a dress size 4 is the normal range.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes. The female skeletal frame of a black woman is no more dense or larger than any other race of women. Your bone density may vary, but it's not enough to make a large difference on the out as far as the dress size. So I'm sorry, but that's what men expect. So what are you trying to say? What's the smallest dress size that you can remember you ever been?
Maybe a 12.
And if you got down to a 12, I'm going to assume you would think that's a big accomplishment.
Yeah.
Okay. And it would be. It would be coming from an 18. But you got to put yourself in the position of the man. Why?
Kevin, one more thing.
Why, if there are 2 million more black women than black men, and there are more females than males, why would a suitable, competent, available, heterosexual man who can pick women across the socioeconomic spectrum, not high value, just right here in the middle, why would he get a woman who's a 12 when there are plenty of women who are just size 2, 4, and 6, who are just as nice as you are, just as friendly as you are? All the things you would say you bring to the table, he can find that in a package that's more suitable. He can only have one, right? He can only have one legal wife, right?
Yes.
Then why would he not pick that? All things being equal.
And those are, he can find nice,
See, that's the
fit.
problem, man. Yes, he can pick anything he wants at this point. See, that's the problem. You have to, if you're going to bring a weight liability, you have to overperform in other areas. And the thing is, that's the problem. What are you bringing that the men want to compensate for being a weight that they don't want? That's how the
Yeah,
world works. So basically, what I'm telling you is, you want to give yourself a best shot, you're gonna have to do something you haven't done. Lose the weight. Just like a man. If a man wants a woman at a certain level or a certain kind of thing, the world tell him, you got to go out and become valuable. You got to go out and get a job. And see, we're comfortable telling men this. What you're ultimately been told is, God will figure it out, or somebody will accept you, or this or that. It's not. It doesn't sound. What it's almost sound to me is though you don't think this is fair.
I just think it's a pretty harsh deal breaker. I mean, men are not perfect, so women are not perfect. I mean,
Well, we got more time than y'all do. This is what happens. You take fathers out of the household. You get women who don't deal with reality. You're 29. You didn't grow up when there were beauty pageants on TV. But we used to have beauty pageants on TV to where women could see what men wanted. We used to have swimsuit competitions and beauty pageants and all this other stuff. But in your generation, we gave 8th place trophies and social promotion. But it doesn't change who human beings are. And at the end of the day, I'm telling you, are you saying there's something that's medically preventing you from getting to a fit weight?
my metabolism is just dormant because of a medical issue. I can't hear you.
Well, I haven't said anything. I'm just saying that, I mean, if it's dormant, man, then you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I don't know what else to say, man. I mean, all is fair in love and war. And here's what's gonna be real harsh. Hold on, all women, hold on. This is gonna be harsh. I need you to hold on. Brace yourself, because this is a reality that men know. Some people just lose. That's where the term spinster comes from. 30% of the men, 30 to 40% of the men on this planet will never have children. Not all men get to reproduce. And we have told women that you all can get it. No, you have to be what they want. So, it may not be what you wanted to hear, but it's the truth.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Toya?
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
So what do you have for, how old are you, by the way?
I'll be 35 next month.
So, are modern women gambling with their lives?
I think they are, but I do, like, within that, as a bullet point, I feel like I have a disagreement with how they should go about it.
Okay.
But I do think modern women are gambling with their lives because just speaking from my own experience, I had a whole phase like a lot of women tend to have, and like something that especially millennial Gen Z women, that's, it feels like a rite of passage. One thing I can say, getting to 35 next month is that my whole phase definitely lasted way too long. I think.
So do you think most women have a whole phase?
I don't know if most women have a whole phase. I won't say that, but I know that where I am, like I'm in DC, and a lot of women are very career minded here, career driven.
Okay.
Lots of people are PhDs, MBAs, whatever. Yeah. And so
what's the disagreement about though?
So the disagreement is about how, I guess, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you've mentioned like basically going from the home, like going from your father's home to going to a marriage, basically. Yeah. And I feel like there should be time to explore. I'll just be frank, to explore your, not being a hoe, but to
stop right here. Hold on, let me ask you a question. Before, what do you think the average woman can learn out in the world experiencing other men that can make her? No, I didn't even finish the question. Put yourself in a man's position. What can a woman experience of value with other men that I will find valuable?
I feel like she can gain a sort of what's the word? Like you probably gonna roast me for this, but you gain a certain sexual skill. Like you talk about a woman should be able to, keep a man fed and then drain his balls, but you do pick up certain skills when you're out there. I'm not saying being a hoe, but just having a few.
So you can't do that with you. So you think a man would find it preferable that you would do that prior to him?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know, because.
What? Okay, first she started off the conversation saying, well, I feel like, and then you knew it all was going to crumble from that point on, right? We all knew this. She then made a point, and then when Kevin pushes back and says, so you're saying that they want all of this experience before they get to you? And she's saying, well, you know what? I don't know. Well, what are you answering, right? What are you answering then? What point are you addressing? Because if you could just ramble on without even understanding the question, then again, that is a problem. Another foolish statement. But this is just crazy all in itself. Let's continue.
The answer is no.
Yeah, but a lot of
Hold on. See, many of you women believe this, that it will be preferable. So what you're basically saying is men who are territorial by nature and want women to be as close to virgin as possible. You know that, right? You know men don't want women with high body counts. You know that, right?
I know that, yes.
Right. So what you're actually trying to sell is that there's a value in a woman getting out here and riding the cock carousel for a couple of 3-4 years. That's actually going to be valuable to him as an asset. It's going to be an asset for me to go to the country club with you and Daryl saying, man, she's a great fuck. You mean to tell me it's going to be valuable? I take you to the mayor's ball. And he said, yeah, she sucked me off. And no, ma'am, no.
That makes sense.
No, because men are territorial. We don't. The fear is really, I think, honestly, if we're being honest, I think this is more of a fear from women. I want to get out and get it out of my system, because if I don't get the kind of dick I like at home, at least I can remember what it was when I was young.
Mm-hmm. But is there not any value to getting it out of your system? Because I mean,
you're still not supposed to have it. You're not supposed to be a hoe. It's not supposed to be in your system.
Well, not a hoe. I don't agree that
you're not supposed to crave. You're not. Okay, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Black folks. Did you watch the show that I talked about sexual professionals? Go back and look on the community tab, or just be honest. How many times have you been around your sisters and they will tell you, women, black women will tell you, they left the men primarily on sexual grounds?
Yeah, a
I
lot of
know it.
women do.
I've talked to hundreds, thousands of black women before I did that show. I interviewed dozens, and each one of them shared story. And this was women from 22 to 70, all sharing the same stories, decade after decade after decade. The only reason women were that way is because of an appetite that they had before the man that was suitable came along.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I don't see. So if women find themselves to be wrecking their own homes because they are been imprinted sexually by another man and they continue to keep looking for that same sex, you shouldn't have had it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Women are not really supposed to get out here and have whole phases.
Mm-hmm.
Why, do you understand why that is, though?
I do understand why that is. And the
Biochemically, women bond differently.
Yes, that's very true. And you pick up more damage along the way.
So there is, I have yet to have a woman truly articulate the value a woman can get from learning from other men through our quote unquote high value guy.
Mm-hmm. The thing that always comes to my mind though is that maybe this is anecdotal, but a lot of the men that I have talked to don't necessarily want virgins. I feel like modern men don't want virgins. I don't know if you have heard of the show Married at First.
I said close to.
Mm-hmm. Right. But I mean, do you
now let's understand something. Let's understand something. Are the men you talking about husbands?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, they are husbands. They're married already, or they're seriously looking to get married.
I got you. No, they're not husbands, but they want to be married at some point.
At some point.
Mm-hmm.
Different kind. Okay. If guys out here just trying to get laid, of course he wants to have great sex.
Mm-hmm.
But men who are trying to, anecdotal, yes. Yes, there are men out there who say, yeah, I would want a woman that's experienced such and so forth. I know guys like that. But they are in the minority.
Mm-hmm.
Most men accept the fact they would rather a woman with low miles and would have to teach her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's preferable, right? All men can say that. That is the most absolute thing that we would look for. That is absolutely the best thing to look for. Why wouldn't we? We would want someone that is better to pull them along, guide their hand and say, you know what, this is what you should actually be doing, and in a way that I will enjoy. Not how you made other people enjoy it. Because what they enjoyed may not be the same thing I did. So it's almost like you have to be tailor-made, I mean, of course, she's not going to think about these type of things because it's not really in a woman's mind to really care about what a man wants, at least his needs.
Damn, how'd she learn how to do that? Because he's going to ask the question, whether he asks it or not.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. So then do you think, go ahead. Do you think that, so if a woman, goes to college
mm-hmm.
and I don't know, she's 22 or whatever, do you think that she should, or I guess how many experiences do you think are enough, basically? How much is too much? If she goes out and sleeps with 3 men before she gets married, is that too many?
Well, no, but I think we got to understand what women are doing today.
Mm-hmm.
Young women are having more sex than young men. I watched a show here recently where a woman, she's had 100 sexual partners in a summer.
That's a lot. Yeah.
I mean, I talked to women. A question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you were going to, if you knew you had found the person you're supposed to be going to be with until the end of time, and you knew you guys were going to be together till the end of time, you'd want to delay getting together, or would you want to get started as soon as possible?
I I would definitely want to get started as soon as possible. Yeah.
And that's the whole point. The problem is with so many women, they're looking at fear and scarcity. But the problem is not the problem in leaving relationships today is modern women.
Mm-hmm.
You're the one leaving. 80% of the time, women leave.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really think many women really know how to be involved. And I find it hard to think that a woman who is had multiple sexual partners, and I'm making no judgment, understand something. I don't, but it makes it harder for you to bond. You know that. And if it's harder for you to bond, that's one more obstacle. Now, not all men are as, open, as reasonable as I am. Some guys will hold it against you, but the net of it is that I don't really see any value to a woman, to a man, for getting out here and having a whole phase, or getting out here and getting it out of her system. That's supposed to be a man thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sow your oats. Women are the oats. But, when this world where we try to make men and women equal, and if he can do it, she can do it. But here's the thing. Men, it's a double standard, and women pay a different sexual penalty from promiscuity.
That's true. I can't argue with that.
Even biochemically. So, all right. Anything else before we go on to the next person?
I mean, I disagree with your stance on women's sexuality in general. Like you saying that it's a man's thing. Like I know
what is my stand? You disagree? Okay. What do you think my view is on women's sexuality?
I think that you believe that women have a sense of sexuality, but you think that men's desire for sex is more important than women's, and it trumps
biochemistry. No. I think biology supports that. Is a female orgasm required for reproduction?
No, it's not.
Then take it up with the creator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but I like even going to the whole, well, never mind. I'm not going to bring that up. The whole like men exercising options and stuff like that. But a lot of women that I know are very sexual, and they end up with people who, did you say?
And
something?
they're also very single.
Well, no, I know.
They're very single. And here's the thing: and the thing is, one way tends to work and have relationships of value and meaning. I mean, if your people are from the United States, how many people did your grandma or great grandma whole phase with before she got with with your great granddad or your granddad?
Well, probably
how many?
None. I don't.
Exactly. And they were together 40, 50, 60 years. The stuff that we talk about that we want. But see, now we want to have the outcomes grandma and grandpa and big mama and them had, but we want the inputs of modern women. No, you cannot have it all. So if you want to get out and explore your sexuality, do you, boo-boo, enjoy. But understand it's going to lead to an empty ass life, because Black women, especially Black women, some of the most sexually liberated and free talking, thinking women, and you're the most unmarried. I'm not saying causation, but damn sure correlation. They also have the most atavistic mating standards. Black women, more than any other group of women, will get rid of a man based upon looks and sexual performance, even if everything else is above average or suitable. So where did this arguably dysfunctional attitude come from? Because it's not typical in human beings. It hasn't existed in our culture until the last 40 years. Is it helpful to an outcome?
No. I mean, no. The way you're putting it is not helpful, and
no, it's selfish. And the thing is, what we're starting to see is the beginnings of the first wave of free love, laissez-faire, don't tell me whatever. We're starting to see that group of womanist feminists hit their 50s. And I don't know if you've seen what pathetic looks like, sad looks like. Go around your local city and see many women in their late 40s and 50s who've just done what they wanted to do with their life, their body, such and so forth. Right. They're valid. I would venture to say that they're rather masculine in their attitudes and dispositions.
That's fair. Well, one last thing I want to say before I let you move on. What would you say about a woman who got married fairly early to somebody, and her husband was her only partner for 10, 20, however many years, and she gets to a point where she feels like she's bored and she wants to explore her sexual options, so to speak?
What do you mean what I would tell her?
Hmm?
What do you ask me what I would tell her?
Well, what are your thoughts on that? Do you believe that women can become like sexually frustrated and wish that they had experienced more?
Do you think? Okay, ma'am. Due respect. I don't act like you can have it all. I don't care if you're sexually frustrated. Go pleasure yourself. You have a finger, a dildo, go figure it out. Women used to have to go to the doctor for hysteria, and he would strap something to his hand, plug it into the wall, and put his hand down there until she climaxed. But you need to look around your house and say, do I have a husband? Do I have a kid? Do I have 401k retirement? Is a life worth living or good sex? And even the Sex in the City women have come out and said this was bullshit. Mm-hmm. This is a lie that's been marketed to women. The cosmopolitan lifestyle. I did a broadcast on this 2.5 months ago. Delayed marriage, open sexuality, sexual choice. It's BS. What's the outcome? Do you know any women that are sexually liberated, sexually free, all these other things that are in happy, functioning, productive relationship that have legacy?
No, because I feel like it's a generational thing. I don't think
It's not a generational thing. Okay. So the answer is, what happens what happens when sex is no longer that much of an option? You've used your yoni up and now it's 45 and don't nobody want it like they used to. Then that's when women start trying to come around. Hey, big head, now let's get together. And don't nobody want no old used bag.
Right.
So make your choices. Make your choices, but understand something. One of the things that women have to negotiate with, her youth, her beauty, her chastity, and access to her womb. If you're giving up your youth for access to your body and your chastity, even if you're protecting your womb, you're giving up a lot of your value proposition. You think men would give up their power? No. It is unwise. And the fact that we have such laborious conversations in the Black community about sex is pathetic to me. Pathetic. We're at the bottom. The black dollar circulates 6 hours, but we spend more time worrying about getting off than building a mother fripping thing. I'm personally rather sick of the topic, but I understand why it's so important. It's important because Black women keep it at the top. I don't know many men who've left their girl because the sex was bad, but I know a whole lot of women who left because she wasn't getting what she got in her college years or whatever. Well, take trade-offs and choices. But here's the last question. Of your sexually liberated friends and all that, do they judge all men by the same sexual standards, or do they hold Black men to a higher one?
Yeah, I think they hold Black men to a higher one.
Then it's some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'm sorry. I would think you should find that offensive. I do, because that's crazy. But at least thank you for being honest. Yeah. And we can always talk about it, but I think maybe we just need to do a show on sex, and I'll just limit it to adults only and change the we need to have a conversation, because we need to get to the point where we move past this. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you.
And I want to be clear that the conversation needs to be had. I get it. But my personal opinion, Jesus Christ, folks. I like good sex, but come on. priorities. Where does it rank? Vanessa, you got to go.
And that's going to be the ending of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions. Leave them in the comment section down below. Again, you can't have it all. And this was very surgical by Mr. Samuels. A masterclass at that. This was one of his best performances that I've seen. But if you guys feel the same, make sure you guys like, share the video, comment your thoughts down below. Make sure you turn on post notifications so you guys will be alerted when we upload more videos just like this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.